Hi, I'm Ian Gilmore with RedlineStands.com, and today we've got our MC625R here that I wanted to show you. This table's got a lot of really cool features. Before I raise it up here, I do want you to know it doesn't actually sit this high off the ground. And when I raise it up here in a second, you'll notice that it's still on the wooden blocks that it comes on in shipping form. So I'll raise this unit up. This unit's got 1,700. Before I go any more, if you'll have a look at the safety locks down here, you'll see the safety locks clicking off as I raise the table up. Okay, so this unit's got 1,750 pounds of lifting capacity. It's an air-operated table, and one of the things that's worth mentioning here is most of the air-operated tables that you're going to find are going to be 1,000, maybe even 1,200 pounds of lifting capacity. This one's got 1,750, and the reason that it's able to do that, and it's got a nice lowered height of I think about 7 or 8 inches, is because if you look up underneath here, you'll notice that we've got twin cylinders up underneath the bottom of it instead of just one cylinder. Let me explain why that's important. You have to have a certain amount of force from those lifting cylinders, and so if you only had one cylinder, that cylinder would be that big around and your lowered height would be very high. It'd be about 10 inches off the ground or something of that nature. So this lift is able to accomplish a very large lifting capacity of 1,750 pounds while having a nice lowered height because it uses 2 air cylinders instead of 1. So underneath it, let's have a look at a few things. Underneath the safety locks down here on the end, it's a real complicated system for operating the safety locks. When you're ready to send it back down, you pick up on it with your foot. That's all there is to it. I want to go ahead and grab the wheels here. This is 1/2 of the little wheel kit that you can buy to go with these lifts, and all you do is bolt this in place, and it basically just pivots right here. You would screw down on this bolt, and that would push down on this wheel so that one end of it would then be off the ground. For the other end of the lift, you would use the Nosewheel Dolly. I'll come around here and I'll show you the Nosewheel Dolly. Of course, you'd pull the ramps out of the way, and then you just hook it right on right there, and then you can roll it around the shop very, very easily. So let's go ahead and lower the lift on down a little bit to a little bit more comfortable working height. I would like to point out we've got a shielded dual foot pedal, an up and a down, so there's no confusing it. They're shielded, so you're not going to accidentally raise it or lower it by total surprise at any point. Notice it comes down nice and smooth. The ramps, we'll talk about the ramps for a second. The ramps here is a 3-piece ramp assembly. They pull off of here pretty quick, pretty easy. I'll pull all the ramps off. The center ramp is exceptionally long. It's also diamond plated, which is great when you're trying to pull a bike up onto the table and you're trying to keep from slipping. It's also great in that how long it is because it helps to keep from dragging the bottom of the bike when you're coming up onto the table. The MC625R and the 655R are available with 2 different sets of side extensions. You can get the standard side extensions that you see here, which is exactly as wide as you see it. This is what most folks are ordering for working on just about everything. However, we do have an extremely wide set of side extensions that will widen it all the way out to 68 inches wide. Some folks are ordering those for working on really wide UTVs like razors, things of that nature. So let's talk about our dropout panel here for a second. I'll go ahead and loosen off these bolts, which I don't really have tight here. And what you have are these little slides here. You slide them out of the way, and then your dropout panel, it doesn't really remove like it does on most tables. It drops down. Now, I'll go ahead and take the opportunity here to point out that the front of the table does essentially the same thing. We have another dropout panel in the front, which is really nice. And before I show you working on that, I want to point out that this table is available with one of 2 different types of device to secure the front wheel of the motorcycle. This is your standard wheel vise. If you'll notice here, look, I can turn this thing with one finger. You notice the operation of it is just fantastic. It's a very, very beefy, strong wheel vise. Does have probably, I'd say 3/16 or so inch thick rubber lining. The nice thing that is different about this is that what you have are rails that mount to the table here, and you can slide your vise backward and forward. And the reason this is important is it allows you to tailor the length of the table to the motorcycle so that you can ensure that your rear wheel is over your dropout panel instead of a little forward or so forth. So this is the vise. I don't have it tightened in place. If I was actually going to be using this, I would tighten down on the pinch bolts here so that it would not move. I'll go ahead and pull this out of the way, and then I'll show you the other option that you've got. The other option here is the MC10R wheel chock. This unit is kind of like a one-man band wheel vise, if you will. You ride the bike into it, and it holds the motorcycle upright while you get off of it, and so it does away with kind of having to need to crank down on the wheel vise while someone else holds it upright. So just for the sake of it here, I'm just going to tighten one of these things down a little bit here, just so it won't come flying out when I do a demonstration of it here in just a second. So I'll tighten that down so it doesn't move. This unit has a front dropout panel, same kind of locks on the front of it that you see here. Slide those out to the side, and then you can lower this unit right down and out of the way. So that's a really cool feature on this table. You'll find that feature on both the MC625R and the 655R. Let's talk about a couple of the little jacks that you can get to go with this unit. This one that I've got here is an MC450 universal frame jack. We sell it with the saddle adapters as standard equipment. Not everybody does that. Some people make you pay extra for those. We throw them in. And what you have here are basically little machined pucks that come in different lengths. You just slide them in place here and slide them over the jack, put them underneath the motorcycle so you pick up by the frame rails, and that's all there is to it. It's a very, very smooth operation. I would like to take the chance to show you. Have a look at the weld on this adapter. Look at that tiny little TIG weld. Very, very high quality welds that you'll find on the MC series motorcycle lifts. Over here to my left, I've got basically the same thing. This is the MC455 Fat Jack. Comes with a rubber top that's glued in place. A lot bigger lifting surface on this one. Same great operation as the MC450. Some people do buy these for motorcycles, but they're also really popular for guys that are working on quads, four-wheelers, that kind of stuff. So let's talk about our side extensions. The things that make the MC series lifts so much cooler than all the others is that the side extensions are 4 pieces instead of 2. Most lifts out there are going to use a 1-piece side extension on both sides. Well, having it set up with 2 pieces is really the way to go, because the way I've got it set up right now, you can work on a four-wheeler. Suppose for a moment that you wanted to work on, I don't know, let's say a Can-Am Spider, a trike. You could work on either a regular trike or a reversed trike like a Can-Am Spider. All I would do is pull off the side extensions. Well, of course, that's after I pulled the machine up on the table. I would then pull off the rear side extensions, and you'll have a trike lift table at this point. And of course, I could have pulled off the other side extensions to make it a a normal trike lift table for working on things like gold wing trikes. One other accessory that you can get for the 625R and the 655R that I wanted to show you guys is the front extension panel. You can use it on either the front or the rear. If we'll come on, have a look at this. If we were to take these little clamps that you see in the front here, and we were to completely remove them, as I'll do now, set them up on the table, I'll grab the front extension panel, which, like I said, doubles as a rear extension panel. Ooh, and it is heavy. And I'll slide it right onto the front. And if you'll notice now, you've got mounting holes in it for mounting your wheel vise or your wheel chock. You've also got a slit right here in the back of it so that if you were to put one of these on the back of the table, you could hook up your ramp right there. So you could put 2 of these things, one on each end, and accomplish a lifting table that is remarkably long for working on even the longest of choppers. You can see this lift on our website, redlinestands.com. You can call us at 901-351-4764 to order. Thanks for watching.